Welcome to this session on process design. The design of processes is an important and early step in the operations management function. In this session, we'll try to learn more about the process design and selection aspect, as well as learn about what are some of the main characteristics or important characteristics that influence the choice of our different alternative process designs. So typically, volume, variety, and flow are the three main characteristics that have a significant bearing or that impact the choice of different from amongst different process designs. We'll take a look at these aspects in detail in the following slides. To begin with, let us try to understand what we mean by the design of processes. So typically in a manufacturing unit or an operations unit, you will find that a supplier is supplying the raw material. Those raw materials are being processed at various work centers or machines, and then you get the semi-finished goods, and finally the processed finished good, which is then supplied to the customer who had placed the order or to the market for sales. So design of processes essentially means that various choices that we make with respect to the flow of parts in a manufacturing system. Now, when we talk about design of processes, there are two main operations management principles which we take a look at. One is the design related aspect, and second is the control related aspects. Now, when we talk about design related aspect in process design, then it means the configuration aspects, like it is dealing with product development, which choice of technology, which kind of technology you will have in your operations or manufacturing unit, the different processes which you will have in your manufacturing unit, then what kind of overall production capacity you will be having in your production unit, different types and number of resources which will be there, then the layout of machines, how the machine will be spread out and installed, laid out in the operational unit. Also the overall strategy and policy for quality, cost and operational procedures. All these are part of configuration aspects or design related aspects. As you will understand, these are more from a long term perspective and sort of a permanent orientation of a permanent nature. So if a plant is based out of a particular location, the location decision has been made, which particular kind of technology machines you will be installing, that has been made, the capacity has been fixed or installed, so you cannot every now and then make changes in it. So these design related aspects you think beforehand, like before construction of a new building or even your house, you have a well laid out plan that what is the design of the house, how many rooms, what size, where is going to be the kitchen, where is the drawing room, where the washroom, and all those aspects you design and then you execute. But once you have constructed the house, you cannot modify it every now and then, that you will have changes in the number of rooms or orientation. So this have an important aspect with respect to operations management principles. Now the second category of principles is the control related principles, and they typically deal with efficient use of existing operating systems. So whatever you have installed after designing, you have installed in your operations unit or manufacturing unit, then how best you can utilize that facility to produce maximum output at minimum cost. That is the target. So for that, whatever we do, that comes under the control related aspects. So typically forecasting of demand is an example of such a kind of activity. We have already seen in our earlier classes that forecasting market demand can be done through various mechanisms and various means, like simple moving average is the method, then exponential smoothing method, causal models, we have the regression models. So there are different models, and you have to see which particular model fits best for your industry or for your organization, and then accordingly you can forecast demand. Based on that forecasted demand, you can go for the number of units to be manufactured in your plant. So production planning and scheduling then accordingly is also there. Then keeping a watch on quality, keeping the quality control, and how and when the machines which are performing in your operations unit, they will be maintained, when they will be serviced. All those aspects are also taken a look at when you talk about the control related principles of management, operations management. The supply chain is also an important consideration, and we have to try to make efficient and effective supply chain. That is, the raw materials should come into our operations unit, then be processed, and then supply of finished goods from your manufacturing plant should be in an effective and efficient manner. At the lowest cost, you should be able to reach out to the market or to the customers who place the orders. So all these aspects deal with the efficient use of existing operating systems. So hence they are called, or they are classified under the category of control related aspects. Now, there are three important aspects which have a significant influence on the process design aspect. So one is the volume, second is the variety, and third is the flow. So when we talk about volume, basically what we mean is that what will be the volume of different kind of products which will be manufactured in your operating unit or manufacturing unit. When you talk about variety, it means that it is concerned with the different variants or variations in your products or features of a product you will be having. So that has important bearing on which kind of process design you undertake for your operations unit. Similarly, the flow of materials, as I said, from supplier, raw materials come, then processed at various work centers or machines as to give semi-finished goods, and then finally, after all processing is done, the finished goods come out and they are supplied to the market or to the customers. So the flow, how this flow of material is happening, that also is an important consideration when we choose from amongst different alternatives available for our processes. So we generally see that the volume and variety have an inverse relationship. Means when the volume, we focus on increasing the volume, then variety of production will come down. So when we go for mass production or bulk production, when the volume of production, that the more and more we want, more and more products, number of products or units should be produced in our plant, then we have to standardize our processes. So to make the things faster, we have to standardize the system, and there will be a certain specified number of features in that product. So, and same kind of product will be repeatedly manufactured. So when we do that, then we cannot have too much variation in the different features which a product is having, or different variants we cannot have of a product in that kind of manufacturing setup. So these two are inversely relations. If we are focusing on volume, then generally you will find that the variety cannot be there to that extent, and when we are focusing on variety, then the volume of production will come down. You cannot have that much of volume of production. Similarly, flow is dependent on variety and volume. So in effect, what we mean is that these three characteristics are there, and they are not independent, they are interdependent, linked to each other. So we have to decide a balance between all these three, depending on the our project, our strategy, what kind of product we are going to manufacture, or we are manufacturing in our operating unit. To take a look in more detail about these three characteristics, talking about volume. Volume is the average quantity of the products produced in a manufacturing system. So the more the quantity, the more the volume, and less the quantity, less the volume. Depending on the volume of products produced in a manufacturing unit, they are classified into three kinds. One is the low volume, wherein we are focusing on low number of products being produced, but there can be more variety. Means as we have seen in the previous slide and discussed, that volume and variety are interrelated. So if we go for low volume, then generally we can expect that variety can be there in such arrangements. So typical examples of such low volume operations units is the turnkey projects management firms like Larsen & Toubro and Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. So L&T may be manufacturing one bridge, two bridge, or highways, few highway. So each and every bridge will be unique in construction in terms of requirement. So there will be different soil terrains on which the bridge is to be constructed. So there will be the length dimensions, the budget, the timings will be different. So variety, lot of complexity and variety will be there in a project, typical project, a construction project. But at a time only few projects will be going on. It won't be that you are targeting the same kind of bridge, one exactly of the same length, multiple bridges are being built, so you have to just replicate. So mass production is not there. So similarly for Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, it will get some orders from power generation companies for wind turbines, manufacture of wind turbines. So they will be manufacturing few wind turbines depending on the unique requirements of the customers who have placed the orders. But it won't be that they will be just going for one kind of wind turbine manufacturing repeatedly again and again in mass bulk production, because it is a costly investment. Project is such kind of projects like manufacture of wind turbines or highways or bridges, so they will be generally very limited. So that these are an example of low volume systems. When we talk about high volume, here our focus is on bulk production, mass production. So consumer non-durables and FMCG sector firms, or automobile manufacturing firms, or chemical processing firms, there the process is generally linked to high volume production systems. Here where the focus is on making the standardized kind of a similar kind of product repeatedly in bulk or mass. Then between low volume and high volume, we have a third category which is called the mid volume production. And typical examples are consumer durables or white goods and different industrial products. So white goods typically like refrigerators, televisions, or air conditioners, like, and these products, the durables are also known as white goods because in the earlier days when they were manufactured, their color used to be white. So typically from that we get this original this term coined, that they are classified or known as white goods. Then after volume, the second aspect of variety, it means the number of different alternative products and variants of each product that is offered by a manufacturing unit. So either you are manufacturing many varieties of product, or you are manufacturing a product which has different features, several features, variants. So this brings in variety into our system, production system. So the different variety in product offerings will introduce variety at various processes in our systems, and we'll have alternative production resources, materials, and skill of workers accordingly required. So typically, to take an example, Titan is manufacturing watches which come in over 40,000 variants. So different 40,000 plus different types of watches they are manufacturing. So a lot of variety is there. So in such systems, generally we require a different kind of setups or processes for different so models, and then materials also, and then skill sets of workers also, it might be there. Now the third is the flow. That is another important characteristics, and it flow indicates the nature and intensity of activities involved in conversion of components and material from raw material stage to finished goods stage. So as already discussed earlier also, the raw materials supplied by the supplier come into your manufacturing unit, they are processed, and then the final finished good is produced. So how much, what is the nature of this different activities which are involved, and how with what intensity these machines or work centers which operate on that raw material to convert it into finished good work. So all those constitute what we call as the flow, how the material flows through our manufacturing unit. That is also an important concept. Now this concept which we have discussed, we have tried to indicate, show and indicate in a form of a diagram. So here a volume is there, so the arrow pointing out in this direction denotes that the volume is increasing in this direction, and the variety similarly increasing in this direction. So we'll see that as the volume is increasing, we have the high volume systems, and which are typically reflected in mass production or bulk production. And typical examples of such operational or manufacturing units or organizations are those of petrochemical and automobile manufacturing units, or FMCGs, or consumer non-durable manufacturing units. Then at the other extreme end is the high variety systems, which are called the also reflected in project organizations. So setting of a power plant project or aircraft manufacturing or building bridges and large construction projects. All these are examples where high variety is there, but when high variety is there, the volume is low. And in between them there is another category which is called the mid volume mid variety systems, and these are typical examples of these are the motor manufacturing or pharmaceuticals manufacturing, white goods, consumer durables manufacturing firms. So we see that there are different kinds of production units and systems, and depending on your products which are going to be manufactured, or depending on your organization's objectives, you will choose from amongst different options available with respect to process design. And three important characteristics will have important bearing, or they will impact which particular kind of process you choose for your organizations. And these three characteristics are the volume, the variety, and flow, how the material flows to your system. With this we conclude this session, and in following sections will presentations will take a look at different types of production systems. With this we conclude the session today. Thank you.